Welcome to Healthy Living through Workout Master. Today we're going to be talking about the performance of the squat. And what I want to do is point out some of the key points that we want to look when we're actually squatting at the gym or the house or wherever we may be, to make sure that the squat is actually helping you and not creating any type of detriment. For now, we're going to start, with Layla. So Layla's going to start doing her squat, and I'll point out as we go to the repetitions. I'll make a stop, and I'll point out certain things that I want you to be very aware when you're at the gym and you do this, and you'll be able to see yourself in a mirror. Now we have a bit of an awkward positioning, just for the fact of filming, but you'll understand, and I'll keep pointing all the issues that I want you to look at it. So Layla, approach the bar, and we're going to be doing first a front squat. The reason why we do a front squat is because I find it to be a lot more functional in the sense that doing a back squat. A lot more people, will favor this type of squat because it's more informed of what we do every day when we have to bring some type of weight up in front of us. Hardly ever do we have the weight in our backs and we're trying to lift ourselves. So for that perspective, I find it a little bit more useful with the everyday people. So Layla, approach the bar. And she's well seasoned at this, so she'll be able to do it fairly well. Just, wrap your arms around the bar like you would typically do it. As you can see, she's using a cross pattern. Some people use a straight arm. Some people will grasp it with the fingers. That's entirely up to you. So, Layla, just whatever is comfortable for you right now, rest it on the shoulders. And the first thing that we have to address is actually how we are going to position your feet. And when it comes to the feet, I will tell you something very simple and easy to understand. Put the feet in whatever position is the easiest for you. Imagine if you had to go to the bathroom outdoors. That would be the position that is the most comfortable for the hips to flex and to squat down and assume a position of control. From there on, the only thing that we are concerned after the feet are positioned, whatever is easy for you, even if one foot is externally rotated more than the other, is totally alright, because my main concern is the spinal cord. Right? It's the whole spinal column. It houses, inside the spinal cord. So from there, she will begin to squat up and down. And in the case of Layla, you may notice that she doesn't squat quite deep. There's a reason for this. She has a congenital issue on the hip that does not permit it to go any lower than that. So when you squat, if you feel that you cannot go down, and it's not because of a muscle, a length tension relationship, you perhaps could be some type of bone formation that does not allow you to squat very, very deep. In this position, she goes up and down. Whatever way you can use is entirely up to you. And we're gonna make sure that the spine is nice and even, that there's no sway of any direction, that the knees are tracking over the toes. And for the sake of making this more visual for you, Layla, please turn around. Careful with the squat. Face the camera. Can you see the whole picture there? Just go back a little bit more. Good. Assume the same position that you used before, Layla. And now squat up and down again. And notice how the knees is going to be tracking between the first and the second toe of your foot. That is very important, since we do not want to see the knees knocking. We don't want to see the back rounding off at all. We want to maintain good control of the lumbar spine. And the way she's holding the arms, you always want to keep the elbows parallel to the horizon as you go up and down. So the elbow should not be pointing down. As she comes up, what she's going to do is make an emphasis to lift the elbows, to straighten out her back, and from there on, keep on squatting. We'll make it that easy for them. Now I'm going to show you how a male might do this, so I'm going to take this away from you, Layla, so go ahead, you can get underneath. And with a male, the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to use more weight. And Aram, he'll do it himself, he's got a different range of motion because his hips are a little more free to move. I'll point out a couple of things because he's going to use a different angle. So from here, Aram, do your up and down squats. He has a wider position. His hips are a lot more free than Layla's. Like I said, she has a bit of a bony issue going on with the hip, and there's nothing we can do about that. Aram, due to having longer arms, he has to keep the elbows pointing slightly down. He cannot keep the elbows all the way up. And what we're looking is to have an even distribution of weight between both feet, so there's not a sway. Once again, the back maintains the normal curvature. He's not really losing the lumbar curvature. And this is important when you're actually working specifically with people that have any type of spinal derangement. You have to make sure that you limit the range of motion. Now, Aram, I want you to go 1/4 of the way in this direction, because there's one very specific thing that I want people to see. When Aram squats up and down in that front position, the axis of the bar should be between the front and the back of the foot. So in other words, when he's squatting down, the weight's not leaning him forward and losing control of the squat and actually putting excessive force through his spinal column. So look at the axis, the movement of the bar, it should be within the foot distance. If he goes forward, there's going to be some type of pressure, you're overloading your system. It's that simple. All right, so use those pointers, look at your position of your feet, make sure that the weight is distributed evenly between left and right side of the body, that your body is not hunching as you're coming up or down. Maintain a normal breathing pattern, whatever that might be for you, and at the same time, make sure that the axis that the weight is traveling is within the distance of your foot. If you move forward, you're overloading your spine, and if you move backwards, it's very unlikely that will happen. That means that you're falling backwards, so let go of the bar. That's it. Keep those pointers up.